Chief Justice Raymond Zondo will today present the annual State of Judiciary report for the 2021-2022 financial year. That report looks into the performance of the South African courts, the delays in judgments and the impact of load shedding. Our reporter Mbali Thethani joining us live now on this particular matter. Mbali, good morning to you. It is going to be one of those addresses by the Chief Justice where he tabulates what the judiciary has gone through in the last financial year, but it does seem that there are more and more challenges with dealing with court administrative issues.
That's certainly right, Kuli. Of course, it is Judiciary Day today at the Constitutional Court, and we are expecting Chief Justice Raymond Zondo to give us a status on the country's courts. And you would know that previously the issues of a backlog and court cases not seeing a finalization have always taken center stage. But today we are expecting, as we deal with stage 6 of load shedding, one can only say that we can see that report will also then be centered around the challenges that courts have also been dealing with when it comes to addressing the issues of load shedding. But at the same time, a number of misconduct cases, especially pertaining to judges across the country, keeps on coming to the fore. But just to give us a bit of insight in terms of what we can expect, we are joined by Mbegezeli Benjamin. He is from Judges Matter. There are a number of issues, but one would say that the challenges that we currently face as a country and that also affects the courts is the issues of load shedding.
Yeah, undoubtedly, Mbali. Load shedding is an issue that is affecting us now, but we know that in the last year we had over 200 days of load shedding, and it's inevitable that the courts would have been affected. So what we want to hear from Chief Justice Zondo today is how that impact has translated into performance of the courts. Have there been delays? What do the delays look like? But more importantly, what's going to happen? What plans are in place to ensure that we are able to live through load shedding, and particularly stage 6 load shedding, which effectively wipes out half of the court day. So we want to hear what plans he has in place for that.
When it comes to other matters, we know that if you look at the Supreme Court and you look at the Constitutional Court, there have been complaints in terms of, cases taking quite some time. Even when you look at just the rest of the country, also alluding to the fact that we're facing problems of load shedding in this country. What else would you like to expect from that judiciary report that we'll hear today?
Yes, so the performance of the Constitutional Court has been an issue for many, many years, but particularly last year you heard during the Chief Justice interviews, many commissioners, many of the judges were complaining about the performance of the Constitutional Court. We know that there were plans in place to address those backlogs, so we also want to hear an update on what those plans are doing, what fruits are we seeing from them, and if not, what changes or strategies do they have in place to address them. The other big thing, Bali, is on just the financing and having the tools of trade for judges. We know that the budget that we heard earlier in the week, there were cuts to the judiciary. We know that technology is a big issue that must be introduced. We understand that there were plans in place to roll out online court systems across the country, so we want to hear an update on that and what kind of plans do they have to implement those systems.
Just this week alone, misconduct of judges also coming to the fore. What are your expectations when it comes to how, the judiciary plans to deal with judges who come under the spotlight, especially for misconduct?
Well, as Judges Matter, conduct or judicial misconduct has been a big issue that we've been concerned about. We've been raising alarm for a while now, and this week I think there's been a sharp focus on that. There's a tribunal currently sitting. We heard over the weekend last week that there were allegations of sexual harassment of a judge being involved in fraud and money laundering. So we want to know, what is the systemic response? We know that the system has been slow in responding to those problems. We know that it's complex and convoluted, so we want to hear from Chief Justice, firstly, an assurance that they are taking these matters seriously, but also action. What kind of action do they plan to address some of these problems?
All right, thank you very much. That is Mbegezeli Benjamin Goli. He speaks, or rather on behalf of Judges Matter. At the same time, we know that this report is expected to be then tabled here in the Constitutional Court by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. It is expected to be delivered at 10 o'clock.
Mbali Thethani live for us at the Constitution Hill. Thank you very much there. All right.